What's going on, everybody? It's Tashawn, the credit coach, and I wanted to do this video for people that's out there struggling with apartments or homes that they once rented on their credit. Now, understand that the reason why it go on your credit most of the time after the fact is because there's this outrageous balance that they're expecting you to pay. So I'm about to walk y'all through the process on dealing with these apartments or dealing with these property managers and how you can get these things off, what laws you can use, right? So that way we can kind of deep dive into it. But let me just run something by you so you can understand the intricacies of how it works, right? So when you go to rent an apartment or you go to rent a property in general, there's an owner for that property, right? And then that owner, typically what they'll do is they'll find like a property manager, somebody that can go find tenants, collect rent, and just make sure that that owner gets paid every month, right? So if you're renting a house, the owner actually most of the time still has a mortgage on that house. And when you pay your rent, they take a percentage of that rent and go pay their mortgage. And then they pocket the rest. That's their net profit, right? So understand this, that 12 months that you're staying at that location, the actual owner will be making a profit off of you. Here's what happens. You have to pay the first month rent and security in most renting situations. They also require you to have insurance. After the 12 months, you get an opportunity to renew your lease. And sometimes they can increase the rent. Legally, they can increase your rent, right? Rent stability is not always the case, especially in new modern, like, bills, right? Nothing old. We ain't talking about grandma landlord. We talking about those new developments, right, that you're renting from. Now, when you go to move out, let's say you're not renewing your lease. When you go to move out, they're going to come to do an inspection, okay? And it's basically called a move out inspection. Just like when you moved in and you went and first looked at the unit, it's the same thing, but now it's for when you leave. Now, I'm not gonna be, like naive to the idea that these owners want their money if you damage their property. I'm not mad at that, and that's logical, right? That makes sense. But in so many cases, right? In so many cases, I've been doing this for over 7 years. In so many cases, okay, the charges are trumped up and they make no sense whatsoever. And so what happens is when you go to move out, you're expecting to get your security deposit back, but instead you get a bill statement saying that you owe double of what your security deposit was, right? And they're gonna keep your security deposit, and it's gonna hit your credit report, and it's going to prevent you from being able to get a mortgage, being able to get a car. Sometimes, like, it just really hurts people when that happens. So that's why I'm doing this video, so we could talk about it, right? So I could shed some light on this situation and hopefully be able to help somebody, understand, like, yo, they don't even have a right to be on your report. Okay, they don't have a right to be on your report. So I'm gonna walk y'all through this process with me. This is actually a case that I had to deal with myself, right? What better testimony than yourself, right? And let me give y'all the story. You know what I mean? Let me give y'all the story so that way y'all understand, and then we're gonna go into like how it went down, the fight, how long it took, because it wasn't an overnight thing. See, people think that credit takes a lifetime, but it doesn't take a lifetime, but it's not fast either. It's just about consistency, persistency. It's like, yo, think about this. That is the natural reflex of success. When you constantly keep doing the right things, you're gonna get the results. So we moved into this house. It was a big house, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 3,500 square feet, in Georgia. Very nice house, big backyard. It was a very, very nice property. I can't lie to you. I'm talking about, I built a gym. I had a library inside. It was really nice. When we had events and gatherings, my wife would invite people over. I mean, we had so much space, like you can have your own corner and nobody would bother you, okay? So the rent though was $2,600 a month. So I know somebody like, boy, that rent crazy. You might as well just have Bob. But everybody's in different parts of their life, right? This is a past story, obviously, that I'm telling y'all about. But it's just, It was a nice house. So when we came to do the first month rent and security, we had to put down $5,200, okay? And we were moving from South Carolina to Georgia. So understand that Atlanta, that Augusta market is nothing to play with, y'all, right? So we moved in, everything went smoothly. Now it's the year's up, we're ready to move back out. So we did the cleanup. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and try to front like there wasn't some wear and tear, but the wear and tear was not like doors off the hinges, holes in the walls, carpet. The house was all hardwood. There was no carpet at all. The only carpet that was in the house was 2 steps that had a carpet layer, but that's it. So it wasn't no carpet damage, no water damage, right? I got kids, so you know the walls was white, so you know you got little handprints, a little crayon, pencil, stuff like that. Anyway, when we move out, we expecting to get the security deposit back, y'all. Instead, we got a bill for like $6,900. Now, understand what I'm telling y'all. My deposit was $2,600, and they tried to charge us $6,900 or something like that. It was over $6,000 for sure. And I'm gonna show y'all. So you know, I went crazy. Like, how in the world are you going to take my $2,600 security deposit and still charge me $6,900 for the property damages that you had to repair? Then they sent me like a breakdown like of everything that cost. So y'all, they was like a doorknob $50. Listen, I'm dead serious. The paint job was $3 grand. You heard? The paint, they said the borders for the rooms that had to be changed, $500. Listen, they ran it up. So it hit my credit. My credit dropped like 90 points. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. That happened. And so, of course, me being the specialist that I am, I'm well aware of all of the intricacies when it comes down to how things get reported and what you're supposed to do about it. So that's what we're about to dive into. If you're struggling with an apartment or some place that you rented, an eviction letter, an eviction notice, any of that stuff, you've ever dealt with any of that, tap into this video. You're going to learn exactly what you need to do to start making those things disappear, because they'll get deleted from your credit report because they have no business being there. Let's go, y'all. All right, y'all. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to break it down and I'm going to show y'all how it looked when we first started the dispute. And again, I don't recommend people going straight to the CFPB to start their disputes, because you need to get things in motion first, right? There's a list of different things you need to do before starting the CFPB. But for the sake of this quick testimonial, I'm going to show y'all what it looked like and what I had to go through, right, with dealing with them. So as you can see, right, this dates back to the first response right here. So that's 9/21/2023. And I first disputed it. Like, I don't want to really read word for word everything that was said because it's a lot, y'all. But I do want to show y'all just like a synopsis of what everything looked like, what they tried to do, and what I was able to do to get the item deleted from my credit report, right? So real quick, briefly, it states that on 9/19/23, I got a copy of my report from Experian. I noticed the collection account from Transworld Systems, Inc. dropped my credit score. I was confused as to, how that happened. I never owed any debt with this collection agency. So I just basically, just ignited it from the perspective of where did this come from, right? I don't know where did this come from. That's an ownership dispute, okay? There's an accuracy dispute and then there's an ownership dispute. This one right here is ownership. So I'm basically saying, like, I don't know where it came from. And here's my resolution. I want this item removed from my consumer report due to FDCPA violation Title 15 USC 1692E of the FDCPA, prohibits debt collectors from using false, deceptive, or misleading information for representation in connection with the collection of any debt. In this regard, their communications have given rise to concerns about the accuracy and the integrity of your collection efforts. Title 15 USC 1692G B requires debt collectors to provide a written notice within 5 days after the initial communication, notifying the consumer right, of their right to dispute the debt. I have not received such notice, and this is a clear violation of my rights under the FDCPA. And then I shot some more laws at them. So let's talk about the laws that I use first. So Title 15 USC 1692 is FDCPA. That's the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. That basically governs the debt collectors, right? That's basically the police for the debt collectors. Those guided laws are for consumers against debt collectors. 1681 would be the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That is for the consumer reporting agencies, aka the credit bureaus. So that's what I said to them, right? I threw out a few laws like, yo, this information doesn't look right, you know, and so that was on the 21st that I sent it to the company. October 6th, right? That's the next month. They sent a response. So let's look at their response. Let me see. Let's look at their response. All right, cool. So off that first one, I submitted. They hit me back with this response, y'all. And I'm pretty sure y'all probably seen something like this before, right? Where October 6th, remember, I submitted it in September. They responded October 6th, and they sent me this response. Dear Tashawn, Transworld Systems, Inc. has received your complaint filed with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. TSI has researched this matter, and the findings are set forth below. TSI requested and has received validation information for your account. Enclosed is the validation information. So they basically saying that they validated the account that they're saying, oh, and they sent me these documents. Now, when we look at the documents, these are itemized charges, right? Utility chargebacks, water reimbursement, tenant damages, right? Insurance chargebacks. Like, it just was like crazy. Pet fees, like, it was so many different things that they charged me on here. Like right here, it says April rent, $23.15. Like, and they hit me with all of these things. You don't see anything about my security deposit, and that's what they sent to the CFPB. But they actually sent me like a hard copy of like how much it costs to paint, how much it costs to doorknobs, like a whole bunch of stuff, right? Whole bunch of stuff. But if you look, then they sent, watch this, they sent the lease agreement. That's the lease agreement right there. Okay. And look, computerized, signed, everything, right? All right, cool. So you probably thinking, look, they got your signature there. It's a lease. You owe this money, right? All right, cool. So after they responded with that, I had to go back and start another one. See, the lesson I want to show y'all is that it does not happen overnight, and you got to be persistent. So when you think about the process, don't think about it being a 1, 2, 3. Just think about it as I'm not going to stop till I win. Okay, so I sent that out. They responded. So now let's go back at them, right? So now I'm coming right back at them. Now this one is a lot more detailed, right? And again, I don't want to read this whole thing out. I know some of y'all like, man, I got an apartment right now I'm trying to get off. So I'm just going to kind of briefly describe how I came back at them. So I said, I'm writing in response to your communication that I received from them. So you want to let them know that, yeah, this is a dialogue. We back and forth with it, right? So according to 15 USC 1692A, congressional findings or declaration of purpose. So understand that 1692A, remember, that's the FDCPA. Listen what it said. You are hereby informed that as a result of your fraudulent practices with the intention to cause harm, I have suffered mentally as well as financially. Your company and its agents are harassing me for an alleged debt that was not properly verified. Your company shares statements as well as a copy of a consumer contract as evidence of the debt, but as per the judgment in the case of Pacific Concrete, FCU versus Kenuance, a copy of the consumer contract is not sufficient evidence of the debt, y'all. What did I just say? That it's not evidence of a debt because you got bill statements. So if you got, like you seen, they try to charge all those charges, they try to send that to you and make you feel like, oh my God, they got me. No, that's not evidence of a debt, right? So watch this. I received that notice dated October 6th, which included documents purporting to support the validity of the debt in question. However, I find that the information provided in your communication is insufficient to establish that I even owe a debt to Transworld Systems, Inc. In fact, your company's name or any reference to Transworld Systems, Inc. is not even mentioned anywhere in the documents you provided. Remember, they tried to give me the lease agreement. That company is not on that lease agreement. Oh, they tried to send me the bill statements. That company is not on the bill statements, right? So I hit them with that. Now, I hit them with that, and then I hit them with this. I say, your collection notice fails to meet the requirements by not identifying Transworld System Inc. as the creditor and not providing sufficient evidence to verify the debt in question. Therefore, I want to remind you that the absent legal authority or a written agreement between us means you cannot force me to conduct any business interactions with you, and I will not do so. If you elect still to injure me, even to the slightest, it would undoubtedly be a show of merciless harassment or even willful extortion, which is a criminal offense in my state of residence. Any such behavior will directly or indirectly lead to an act accordingly. So I demand you to remove this account from my consumer credit profile immediately. I'm not confident that you can meet the necessary requirements to successfully defend yourself in court, and I will use any deficiencies in your compliance to seek a minimum of $1,000 per violation, of which there appear to be many, unless your letters confirm that you have already annulled the unproven claims against me and completely erased any records related to these claims. I will assume that you are hostile to my demands for proper reporting and intentionally disregarding your duties. So after I sent that one, now again, y'all, this is not, let me back up. So let me show y'all, right? I got to show y'all this so y'all can understand. So I had to go at them. This was the first time. Nope, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It was 4 times before I got it handled, y'all. 4 times. They kept sending the same letter back. Let me show y'all. Look, let me show y'all. So right here, the response to post, that's the same letter. Then when we go back here, right, it's the same letter. So right here, and you got to be careful with that. You got to watch that. So look, right here, the same thing. Their response is right. They sent the response by mail. That's what they said. So let's look at what happened at the very end. What's the last thing they gave me? Because they was fighting. They was fighting. They sent the lease agreement. They sent all that. And I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with that, right? So look, here's the last response right here. This was December 22nd. I started in September. So October, November, December. That took 3 months, right? 3 months. Let's look at what they talking about after the 3 months, people. All right. So I'm going to make sure my screen sharing so y'all can see this response. Make sure y'all can see it. All right, look what they said, December 22nd. Dear Tasha, Transworld System Inc. has received your complaint filed with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. TSI has researched this matter and the findings are set forth below. The above referenced account is closed in TSI system. It is TSI's intent to have no further communication with you regarding this matter. Please direct further inquiries to Conrex Property Management. TSI has contacted the credit bureaus with which it does business with and request to delete the TSI listings of the above referenced account from your credit profile for the security number listed in TSI's records. It's gone. TSI cannot affect the change to how the creditor or any other company may have listed the above account on your credit profile. We appreciate the opportunity to respond to your inquiry. All right? So there you have it. Excuse me, you know, that ring light a little hot. There you have it. It's gone. Delete it. You know what I'm saying? Delete it. From all 3 bureaus. All right, so as you can see, it doesn't matter what they are trying to use as evidence. They do not have a right to report evictions or those situations where you moved out of a place you was renting and now they're keeping your security deposit and they're affecting your credit. If that's something you're going through right now, or you even have that collection agency on your report, what I want you to do is comment the word "less work" so that way we can come up with a strategy to get yours deleted.